Here is SummerSlam weekend here in Detroit. We're here with the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, Mr. Finn Balor. Finn, how's it going?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Doing excellent. I mean, we're just mere hours away, day ago from tomorrow. We've got the World Heavyweight Championship coming up facing Seth Rollins. 7 years removed, obviously, from the first ever matchup. Just talking the differences between Finn then and now. I mean, going from winning the first ever Universal Championship to now contending for the World Heavyweight title.
Obviously, a lot of differences. 7 years older, 7 years wiser, 7 years more experience. But, you know, the same can be said for Seth also. For me personally, I feel like I've entered a very comfortable part of my career where I'm firing on all cylinders in the ring. I don't feel like I'm putting on an act for anybody anymore. I feel like this is the truest, most authentic version of myself, which I feel like is something that's helped me kind of grow and flourish over the last year especially. So I'm feeling very confident going into the match tomorrow at SummerSlam.
Especially going from being a rookie, so to speak, at that point, at least in terms of WWE, at that point in your career, you were already obviously a seasoned veteran. Talk about the locker room now compared to 2016, being in the veteran role, people looking to you. When was that kind of changeover for you as far as the superstars looking at you as someone to kind of as like a role model of sorts? Yeah,
you know, a lot of people looked at me as a veteran back then with, I don't know, maybe 14, 15 years experience.
Sure.
But that match against Seth at SummerSlam, I think, was my third match on the main roster. So certainly very inexperienced on Raw and SmackDown and WWE main roster at that point. Obviously, fast forward 7 years, and I've been on, you know, almost every show since I've returned from injury. So definitely one of perhaps the older statesmen in the locker room right now, but I don't treat it any different. You know, I tried to come in and work as hard as I did on day one, and that's kind of the work ethic that, you know, everyone should approach this business with.
And you obviously come in at that point with just so much to prove. Again, as far as from a WWE standpoint, you accomplished so much outside of the company before coming in, arrive at SummerSlam, winning the Universal Championship. At this point in your career, you've accomplished so much to yourself anyway, not even to the fans or officials or whatever. What do you feel like you have left to prove, if anything? Or at this point, is it just more a matter of enjoying what you kind of get thrown to you?
Maybe to some people I have something to prove, but to myself I don't have anything to prove. I've proved it all a long time ago. I've said it before. The match at SummerSlam 7 years ago when I won the Universal title, if that had been my last match, you know, I would have retired, you know, very content and very happy with everything that I'd achieved up until that point. Everything past that has been a bonus. So I'm just enjoying stepping in the ring every single day, whether it's at SummerSlam or WrestleMania or, you know, a house show, you know, overseas. It doesn't really bother me. I don't treat matches any different. You know, each one is as important as the other, and I'm feeling good going into SummerSlam.
Hopefully the fans can focus on the match this time. I was at Barclays Center for that match 7 years ago, and all the people were concerned with it was chanting about the stupid belt. I mean, can we focus on the actual match this time?
So, interesting story about that was I couldn't quite understand what they were saying, and it was about 5 minutes into the match, and I specifically remember taking Seth. I had him face down. I put him like in an Indian deathlock, and I could hear like, Balor sucks, Balor sucks. And I was thinking, wow, these fans in Barclays were cheering me last month, and now they've turned on me fast. That's what I was thinking in my head, and it wasn't until the next day when I was actually at the hospital getting the scans that, you know, someone had smartened me up to what the fans were actually chanting. So I wasn't aware of it in the moment, but hopefully the attention will be more on what's happening in the ring than what we're fighting over.
Hopefully so. And again, unrelated note, not related to SummerSlam, thoughts on Tottenham this season. I know you're a big fan. Again, not exactly WWE related, kind of keeping the world separate, but thoughts on their season so far?
Very, very disappointing season last year, and actually for the last couple of seasons. Every year or every season I normally go into it with like a new sense of hope and expectation, which I should be approaching this season with Big Ange. I feel like he can really change things up, but you know, it's still, I think, 8 days away till the Premier League starts again, so watch this space. I think it all depends on if Harry stays, you know, what the starting 11 is going to look like, how the players adapt to Big Ange's 4-3-3 tactics, but wait and see. I'm not as hopeful as normal, but sometimes that's the best way. Be a little bit pessimistic, and your expectations will always be beaten.
I was going to say, I feel like you're a very optimistic person, so for you to say that you're not all that hopeful is saying something.
Well, it's not that I'm not hopeful, I'm just
realistic. realistic?
I'm just trying to maintain my sanity by not getting too excited and getting my heart broken again for like the 35th year in a row as a Tottenham fan. So
I feel like that mindset can be applied to wrestling fans too, with a lot of what we see just in wrestling and in WWE and whatnot. Just kind of approach it day by day, and hopefully with SummerSlam we won't have to worry about that because you'll be walking out World Heavyweight Champion. Not to be biased, but we'll say. But thanks for the time, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thanks so much.